Leading business this hour, Africa needs to exploit its energy resources fully to power itself. That was government's message at the Hydropower Africa conference that began in Johannesburg today. It brings together experts from governments, banks, legal and construction firms to look at clean energy projects across the continent. The Department of Energy says hydro and solar energy can yield both social and economic benefits, but only 7% of hydropower potential has been exploited on the continent. Well, to discuss, we're now joined by Colin Logan, Director at Argus GIP. Thank you for joining us, Colin. I understand your company is working with Eskom looking at hydropower here, but we are constrained in some respects. Explain that.
Yes, very much so. I mean, South Africa is not a water resource rich country, but having said that, to get the mix right with the balance of power supply, there are opportunities on the pump storage side of things. To better utilize particularly the coal-fired power stations within the country.
Government has put together a plan with targets for clean energy, so it does seem to be committed to a mix of clean and coal energy, even though we can't rely on hydropower, as you say.
Very much so. I think they recently published the IRP 2011, which is the integrated resource plan. If you look at that, there's a huge emphasis on renewables. Hydropower being one of them, but also looking at solar power energy and then also wind power. So if you look at that plan, there's certainly a huge emphasis on renewables. I mean, these are technologies that have been around for quite a long time. This is nothing new to the industry. However, there is a drive now from governments around the world to really push this sort of these technologies.
There are opportunities in Africa, though. What you need is these huge bodies of water. What opportunities are out there?
Well, the obvious one is the DRC. There's huge hydro potential up there in the DRC, but it comes with challenges. Obviously, political stability is one, and then there are various cross-border agreements that need to be reached to get the power to South Africa, for one. You'll also notice that the Eskom in the hydro side of things, they're looking at importing hydro, and that will come from places like the DRC or countries closer to South Africa.
And apparently Zambia not doing too badly as well.
Yes, we again, our company is involved in Zambia. They're obviously looking at producing energy for the mining sector within Zambia. But there are a number of projects there that are currently being implemented or soon will be implemented.
I've heard that it may be fortunate for some African countries that they're a bit behind, because now they can leapfrog dirty energy and go straight to the new technologies for clean energy. But is Africa up there regards this technology with the rest of the world?
I think the biggest challenge, though, that comes down to the cost of these technologies. Just to repeat what I said earlier, is that these technologies have been around for a while now. It's just it's the cost associated with it, and we've always looked at the cheaper options, being coal and then the hydro side of things. But I think there's engineers and the public at large are looking at a more responsible approach, and therefore looking at a lot more of the renewable balance of renewable energy.
I guess you need politicians to say, let's rather look at the costlier options, because that'll help us in the long term. Very quickly, what about the conference in Johannesburg? What's the benefit?
Yes, I think this is exactly that. It brings together the politicians, the engineers. I think a lot of the technical solutions are there, or we certainly believe from an engineering perspective that the technical solutions are there. The important thing is establishing vehicles for finance, and then also cross-border agreements so that we can really get energy to the African continent.
All right, well, I hope it's a good week. Thank you for joining us. That was Colin Logan, Director at Argus GIP.